Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, a.k.a. man of the people here, doing what I do best, sometimes in good conditions, sometimes in not so happy conditions, as the Carolina Panthers. Ron Rivera-esque missed opportunities, a golden opportunity. I think we all, take off the reporter hat for a second, and I think we all have to feel like, man, this was a disappointing loss. Talked to another member of the media as I was getting ready to come down here to the field, and it's just like, oh, that was like a slow death. It was just miserable, miserable, miserable. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to recap the game as we always do with photos from the game, press conferences from both Bryce Young and head coach Dave Canales. We'll also talk about what's going on in that locker room, and then we'll also tell you my analysis, and we will also go over the stats. So that'll be the show for today. I hope you join me for the ride here. Hope you're not too upset. I know I've been hearing it's cold back home in North Carolina. Don't worry, it's cold here too in New Orleans. We got a warm day yesterday, but it's cold today. But again, we're going to go through this. We're going to break it down, talking about this Carolina Panthers unfortunate 17-20 loss to the New Orleans Saints. I told you in the pregame, I'll tell you again, just for consistency's sake, this Carolina Panthers team, they win every other game, right? That's what they've been doing since week 9. They lost the first 3 out of 4, then they won the next 3 out of 4, and then they have been winning every other game. And that, unfortunately, held true today. And even for my birthday, they weren't able to pull it through and get us the victory that we all hoped that we would get today in New Orleans to just take really good control of that NFC South. We still have a chance to win the NFC South. I'm going to show that graphic for you in just a moment. But the other thing that happened today was the fact that this Carolina Panthers team was favored to beat the New Orleans Saints. We have been favored 2 times to beat the New Orleans Saints, and we have lost 2 times to the New Orleans Saints. So that's unfortunate. One more that I'm going to throw at you here, and then we're going to get started going through the images from the day, telling you the story from the game. The New Orleans Saints, all 3 games that they've won this year, I forget the exact number, but I think it's 21 points. Hold their opponents under 21 points, they're going to win the game. And guess how many points, as you already know, the Carolina Panthers had? It was a magical number of 17 points. So nevertheless, we're going to go through the standings, which I'll go ahead and bring up here right now. Why not, right? We don't have to wait too long for this. Here you go. The Carolina Panthers are now tied in first place, but guess who gets the tiebreaker? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the tiebreaker because they have the better matchup against teams with similar opponents. So right now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in first place, and well, we got to beat them. We got to beat them twice, because if we beat them once and we lose once, then they will still hold the same tiebreaker that they hold right now. So there you go. We're going to go ahead and start with our photos of the day. But let me go ahead and give a few shout-outs to some of you guys that have already joined me here. And as you can see in every stadium, they let the fans out. Here in New Orleans, they let them out the entire field. Hopefully no kid runs into me today, because if he does, he's probably going to get me being a grumpy old man today because it's lost by the Carolina Panthers. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the comments that have come through. We'll give a shout out to everybody that's here. Linwood Cole 3749 does not even want to talk about it. I don't either. It's my job though, so I got to talk to you guys about it, let you know what to expect. Not what to expect, but what break this game down for you today and what happened. It was really like it was a low energy game, even though we were winning most of the game, and it just like unbelievable what happened in this. Precious Details is fuming. Precious, I think you probably can easily find some other people that share that same sentiment as you do about fuming. I know I'm not the happiest guy in the world, but yes, fuming is a good way to put it. And, I'm sure some of the Carolina Panther players are, because I noticed that as soon as the game ended, quite a few of those guys went down that tunnel, did not come to the field to shake the hands of the opposing team. Some of the guys did, but I'd say probably about half the team just kind of walked straight on off, not being too happy at all. And let's give a shout out to one of our members here, Stephanie. Stephanie said it's brutal. It was brutal. We'll read a few more. It was like watching a train wreck. Someone had to win. Yeah, this game, we just got through watching the game the other day with the Saints and with the Buccaneers and the Falcons, and it was like, how many penalties are there going to be? This game did not feature that number of penalties, but penalties certainly were not the friend of the Carolina Panthers today. Not the friend of the Carolina Panthers at all. But let's go ahead and get into it without further ado. Looking at the images from today's game, and let's go ahead and start with this one right here. Uh-oh, missed the screen here. Let's try it again. Take two. All right. Does anybody know what that is right there? Number one, that's an outstanding shot by our photographer, Patrick Snyder. Unfortunately, it is also a shot by a guy that I like quite a bit, Lathan Ransom. Sat down with him one-on-one. He hit Tyler Shuck at the end of the game. Sorry, guys, I had to take a big drink of water there. He hit Tyler Shuck at the end of the game, causing a 15-yard penalty, which took it to approximately a 47, 48-yard field goal, in which he made, and they won the game. So, should he have known better? You'd like to think so. It happened earlier in the game with Derek Brown, but you kind of feel like Derek Brown's a bigger guy. It's hard to, keep the body moving as agile-like as it would for a guy like Lathan Ransom, but he didn't. He hit him. And furthermore, you kind of wonder, like, as quickly as they lined up for that play in the shotgun toward the end of the game, the Saints did, you kind of felt like it was going to be a quarterback draw, right? Because it was quick. Didn't even really seem like it was a play call. So in that case, I'm sure they had that mentioned to the guys before the huddle, like, hey, if we do this, look for the quarterback draw. He probably even has a word that he can say to let the team know quickly, hey, this is what we're going to do. And he made it, and he got the hit. So nevertheless, let's continue to work through these images from today's game. Here you have it. Sometimes there's a smile. Sometimes there's not. Unfortunately, with this Carolina Panthers team, it's a good game followed by a bad game. Fortunately, this was not a horrible game, but it was a game certainly that did not meet enough. Bryce Young and Andy Dalton walking off the field here at the end of the game. And continue to work through these images here. We got Bryce Young. Obviously, this is earlier in the game. Bryce had a good game, man. He had a good game. He didn't have a terrible game. He didn't have the best game. It's kind of right there in the middle, but just things happened in this game with penalties and such that really took it out of the hands of the Carolina Panthers. But this is Bryce Young showing a little emotion, as he's been doing more lately. And then how about this? Again, Jalen Coker doing his thing. We're going to show the stats here in just a moment, but Jalen Coker had himself a pretty respectable game. Jalen Coker here with his touchdown today, which was, had you feeling pretty good about this Carolina Panthers team. Had you feeling pretty good. And then after the touchdown, what do? Well, you have a little celebration with the other guys. All right, so that's Jalen Coker celebrating after his touchdown here in New Orleans. No, we didn't get pressure on what happened there? Let's try that again. We didn't get pressure on Shuck all day. All right, we don't know. Let me just fix this. I don't know why that image is coming across like that, but we'll fix it here. I think it's going to come out a little blurry. All right, we'll skip through that. We don't want to show bad images. I don't know what happened on that one, but we'll go to the next one here. All right, so now all of my images are coming out a little crappy. Give me a second. One moment here. Don't know what's going on. Let me try this one more time, guys. All right. Come on. This can't be happening to me right now. Let me try one more thing here. All right. We'll try. Yeah. Give me a second. All right. We'll see if we can't come back to that. I don't know if there's a fix for that. If not, we just may try to limp through it all. And so what we'll do now is we'll just go ahead and skip ahead, and we'll go to the press conference from Dave Canales talking about the results of this game. Get this up on the screen for you guys here in just a second. All right, so we're going to go to Dave Canales. See if we can get this going here properly. All righty. So here we're going to start with Dave Canales talking about the results of this game today.
Saints, just taking advantage of their opportunities, putting together some amazing drives there. Stuff we certainly have to look at and make sure that we shore up. And as far as we're concerned, just the penalties. The penalties is really what killed us, in some 3rd and longs that we gave up. And you don't give yourself a chance, when you're sitting in 1st and 20s and those types of things, the untimeliness of the penalties, the field goal block, 2 offsides, giving them another opportunity in that 4th and 1. We end up getting the stop, but still, gives them another shot there. So we talk about our play style, talk about play smart and finish. That did not show up for us today. And that's something that we certainly have to talk about.
So, yeah, play smart and finish, do better longer. That's one of his many mantras that he has instilled into this team. And do better longer did not happen today. Certainly did not happen. Again, I don't want to pick on Lathan Ransom as she's like the sole reason, right? Because there were things happening. There were penalties all game long. And we're going to get to those stats where we're going to talk about the penalties. But essentially, the Carolina Panthers coming into this game today were one of the least penalized teams in the league. I forget the exact stat. I had a pregame. I want to say top 10 in terms of penalty-free kind of teams. That number was approximately around about 5 penalties per game that they would get today. Again, we're going to bring up the exact stats here momentarily, but that number today was more like 12, 13. It was far more and above what we normally get for penalties there. And this Dave Canales saying that's part of what killed us today. Absolutely is. Going to go to a few more excerpts from Dave here. And just a second, let me get this ready for you guys. All right, we're going to play a little bit more from Dave Canales in his press conference right now.
That we can go find our best football. That was not it today. We're really fortunate to be in this position where we can play the Bucs twice, and have the division opponent in the last 3 games twice. And to me, it's like it plays into a great opportunity for us. But this is going to be about the toughness, mental toughness, to be able to move on, focus on the Bucs this week, and make sure that we shore up the things that we need to find our best football.
All right, we're going to play one more clip from Dave here, and then I'm going to come back on and talk about it, and we'll move on to some other things.
I couldn't pass up on 4th and inches right there, and I trust my guys to get that done. And we've been really successful in those situations, and the Saints beat us on that play. Yeah, just miscommunications we're going to have to look at on the film and make sure we get to the bottom of what happened on those. These are base calls. These are core calls that we know, that we trust the guys to execute, and we got to make sure we do that.
All right, guys, we're going to play one more little clip here from Coach Canales, and then I'm going to come back and play some of the stuff from Bryce.
Yes, they brought up, Lathan's, and I think Derek had one earlier. Those are difficult situations, but we can execute those better, and we can make sure that we're aware of, as the quarterback is entering, how we approach the tackle, and when he starts to go feet first, we have to have the mindset to be able to avoid his upper body there.
All right. So those were some of the comments from your head coach, Dave Canales, as he explains, going for 4th and inches, he couldn't resist. I'm not mad about that. And then also talking about some of the things in terms of the players, knowing about, hey, when that quarterback starts to slide, when he gets into that motion, you got to lay off of him. And again, I'm not going to be too critical of Derek Brown with that. Well, with that happening, that's a really big guy. That's asking a lot to slow down and stop him from hitting, especially if he's kind of already going into it not knowing what the guy's going to do. Lathan Ransom, much more agile guy. Again, don't want to pick on Lathan for what he did today, but they got to play better football. And here's where earlier in the pregame show, I talked about the fact that Dave really has these guys locked in on each week is a championship opportunity. Don't get too high for this game. Don't get too low for that game. Treat every game like we're 0-0 trying to be 1-0. Treat every day of practice like you're trying to do better than you did the other day. If you make some mistakes today, make fewer mistakes yesterday. Now, I know some people may be like, hey, Chris, we don't want to hear that right now. But I think it's really important, right, if you want this team to win, a lot of us are heartbroken about this loss today, that you have the proper mentality that this team can rebound, right? It sucks because there was so much at stake today with this opportunity if they had got the victory and they weren't able to do it. But they're going to move on to Tampa Bay. Got it at home next week. That's another good opportunity to get things right. And let me tell you this, also from the standpoint of this team making the playoffs and this team needing to beat Tampa Bay twice. Listen up, right? This is good. Listen up. Ready? Here we go. We are winning every other game. That means we lost today. That means we should win next week at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then we'll have a game against the Seattle Seahawks. That means we would lose, right? If we keep up this every other game we win scenario, right? We lose against the Seattle Seahawks, and then we'll have to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers again. If we beat Tampa Bay twice, we're still in the playoffs. I think my photographer's going crazy trying to find a good shot for me here, but you guys will love the photos that he gets whenever they finally come out. Let me go, and now let's play a little bit on Bryce Young. Give me just a second, and we will go to Bryce Young and his press conference today as well. And then I'm going to come back with some more photographs from today, and then we'll also then take a look at the stats from today and any questions that you guys may have. As Chris Jenkins, live here at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Again, the Carolina Panthers unfortunately fall to the New Orleans Saints. Final score, New Orleans 20, Carolina Panthers 17. Now let's go ahead and look at some of the press conference from Bryce Young. Give me just a second here, guys. I'll be able to cue this up for you. All right, let me take this out here.
They played well. They did everything. We always give credit to our opponents, but for us, we are a team who prides ourselves on finish. Didn't get that done today. It's not going to feel good for 24 hours. We're going to go back and grow from it.
No word.
And turn the page.
Hey, my pregame
just want to go 1-0.
If
That's
they
always
score
the
under
mindset.
21
Watch
points,
a film,
Saints
we'll
win.
for these 24 hours.
Every other game
After
we
that,
lose.
just turn the page. That's all that matters.
Missed opportunity. John Fox, David. Committing missed opportunity.
One second. All right, guys, so this is what I'm going to do. So the press conference with Bryce Young is really, really short, and it's only a couple minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and play that, and then once we come out of that, we'll go to a few more images from the day, the stats, and then we'll take any questions that you guys have about this game, all right? So, hey, and we got a super chat. We got 2 super chats. I appreciate you guys very much, supporting the channel. through good, through bad, we're going to be here, and it always costs whether they win or lose. So I really, really think. Let me give some shout-outs to these Super Chats really quick that came in here. And I say really quick because I just want to make sure I go through everything. Ali Bodrick, our member, appreciate you, man. The Panthers helped the Saints with all the flags, and especially that 4th and 1 when they should have hit the edge instead of running up the middle. Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll come back and talk about it. They got swept by a 3-10 team with a rookie. Yeah. Ali, those are two very, very good points. One is the penalties were bad, and that 4th and 1 where he ran didn't work out too good. And, yeah, you're right. Tyler Shock, a rookie, really gave us the business for 2 games. That's crazy, right? And just again, we're about to play the whole press conference from Bryce because it's only 2 minutes long. The irony of this season, right? We beat the Atlanta Falcons 30-0 at one point this year. Beat Green Bay, beat L.A., and then we struggled. We are super on the struggle. We led most of this game. We had a 10-point lead into the 4th quarter, and we ended up losing on a field goal. It's crazy. Ali Bodrick, appreciate you being a member. Appreciate your Super Chats. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to go ahead and cue up Bryce Young's press conference here.
For 24 hours. We're going to go back tomorrow. Everyone's going to own it. We have a locker room full of guys who look in the mirror, who want to be better. And we're going to do that. We're going to grow. And then after that, it's every week we want to go 1-0. That won't change. When we're back during the week, we'll be 0-0. And
like I said, that 1-0 mentality. It sucks to hear it, right, once you just lost a game like you have lost right now. But it's so important that if you do want this team to pick it back up and do what they need to do against Tampa Bay, you need to be confident that your guys are going to be able to pick themselves up emotionally, focus on Tampa Bay, and not get down about a missed opportunity. Let this continue to play.
Everything we can to focus during the week to give ourselves the best shot. Yeah, we pride ourselves in playing smart, and again, a lot of penalty yards. That as a leader, I take accountability for that. We want to make sure that we're playing clean, we're playing smart. Whether it's something we can, get better at in practice, whatever it may be. Again, I have full faith in everyone. Again, that's not our style of ball, but we got to turn the page. Again, for me, I take that accountability. We want to play clean, but again, it is what it is. Appreciate it.
All right, that was your quarterback, Bryce Young. And we got some clips from some, I think Joe Person, The Athletic, put a few things out there on Twitter that I want to share with you guys. Let me see if I can quickly pull that up, and then we'll go over a few more photographs, and then we'll answer some questions, right? Whatever you guys want to talk about, we will get into that as well. All right, so first thing I'm going to play for you is Lathan Ransom. Here we go. Lathan Ransom.
It's difficult. We're trying to get every yard we could to stop him. So, when he's running, I'm just thinking, stop him as fast as I can. But, he's a quarterback, so I got to be more aware of the situation. I guess let him run by it. Or let him slide.
This is a team that has not been heavily penalized.
All right, did you guys pick that up on Lathan Ransom, and what he was saying there in the locker room? All right, let me get back into professional status. He's pissed. Lathan Ransom is pissed is a guy right now that does not like the rules for the quarterback. That's why I'm laughing, because I can tell he's pissed, because he said, like, I guess just let him run by me, like let him slide, right? Because that's probably what he's thinking. And just getting used to the rules in the NFL about how much they protect the quarterback. Lathan, I know you're a rookie. I know you're pissed off, but yeah, he's a quarterback in the NFL. He's not one of the highest paid, but the guys at that position get paid a whole lot because they influence this game a lot, and he is protected, right? So you do have to let him finish the slide. You saw him sliding, saw him going down like this. It's not like he was standing tall. So, again, that was Lathan Ransom basically saying he knows that he needs to do better. But in my opinion, still a young man that is frustrated with the results of that play. We'll also play a little bit here from Derek Brown in the locker room. Again, Joe Person of The Athletic, the Twitter account that we're grabbing these from. So please make sure you give Joe Person a follow over there at The Athletic. Really good reporter. But let's go ahead and play this clip again here from Twitter, Joe Person with Derek Brown in the locker room.
We saw everything in front of us. That was the easier way to take it today and then go in next week. But I mean, we still got the same stuff in front of us, so that's what we're going to focus on.
You said nothing has come easy for this team.
No, not at all. I mean, I don't want it either way, though.
Why?
Because this is, from the jump, it's been about grit. So I mean, this is what we do. So now we got to bounce back. We got to challenge every man here as a man, and we got to work.
All right, so that was Derek Brown talking about the adversity of this team. And again, to me, what Derek says there still really shows the mentality of this team, which I've been talking about a lot, right? And because I think it's important that, yeah, that's what happened, but we still got to go out and do what we got to do anyway. Doesn't change what we have to do. We still need to have the mentality of resetting, beating the next opponent, making that week a championship week, and that would be against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's Nick Scott.
Yeah, man. The Bucs, regardless of what's going on in their locker room, we have a job to do, and the challenge is on us. We got to be at our best these next 3 weeks. Going forward, it's going to be a tremendous challenge, regardless of what they got going on. We got a division matchup with playoff implications, so we're going to be fighting as hard as we can, and we know they will too. And all we can worry about is us and what we got going on in this locker room. We're in a great place. Guys believe in each other. We're all connected. Yeah, man.
All right, so obviously all these teams, the Bucs and the Panthers, they got their work cut out for them, right? And it's almost like the perfect misery redemption opportunity for both teams. Tampa Bay has been playing horrible. And basically just like we got excited, Panther fans last week when they became tied, and it's like, hey, it's truly reset now. This was 2 weeks ago, I should say, when the Saints first beat the Buccaneers. Hey, it's reset. We are now finally tied with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa had a terrible game against the Atlanta Falcons, and we're ahead. Now we had a terrible game. Not a terrible game. We had a bad game against the Saints, and now we're still back, completely reset. 0-0. Both teams still control their own destiny. The Tampa Bay Bucs control their own destiny. They beat us twice. They're in. We control ours. We beat them twice. We're in. Ties don't work out too good for us, right? So both teams, I think it's going to be a lot of good content coming out of Bucs Stadium, out of Panther Stadium. So make sure that if you have not subscribed to this channel, that you subscribe to the channel. We'll be back in the stadium on Wednesday. So normally there is a day after show that I always do. So I do want to let you guys know that unfortunately, due to my travel, I will not be able to do the day after show tomorrow. It's not because they lost. If they had won, it'd be the same thing, right? I'm going to cover this team, win, lose, or draw. But due to my travel, I will not be able to do that show tomorrow, as I'll be on a plane heading back to Charlotte. But Wednesday, we'll continue picking up where we always do, which is our one-on-one interviews, and also doing a report live from Bank of America Stadium. So continue to support us. We'll continue to give you all the latest information about this Panthers team as they try, and they still do have a legitimate chance to win the NFC South. We're going to go back to those photographs that we were trying to show earlier. Some of these are just a little not cropped properly, but I'll try to stretch them out a little bit so you guys can see what we're doing here. This is another image. This is – what do we got here? This is a sack on Tyler's shot. And this here was one of Rico's big runs. Again, I apologize about the images here, but we're going to stretch them out really quick so you guys can see it. We'll put them up later with the proper sizing. But there's Rico Dowdle on one of his big runs today. This one here was, man, we almost had it, right? Again, we like to tell the story of the game, whether it was a good one or a bad one. That was Teteroa McMillan on, you talk about things that almost went really, really well for us today. That was a play. Teteroa was open. It's coming. Sorry if you guys can hear me drinking there, but just not enough under it to be ahead of Teteroa where he could get a clean shot on it. DB coming there, breaking it up. And, yeah, wasn't incompletion. Here's a nice hard run by Chuba. And game-winning kick by the Saints. Again, I know this is bugging us that these. I don't know why these came through a little bit crazy like this, but I want to just try to show you guys really quickly anyway. Game-winning kick by the Saints. And I'm going to show these quickly because they are messed up. And then here you go. The agony of defeat right here. Carolina Panthers walking off the field after today's loss to the New Orleans Saints. And yeah, let's get all these out of here. Let's go ahead and get to some of these stats from today, and then I'll give you a little bit of my analysis from the game. All right, stats from today. Let's go ahead and look at the passing. Bryce Young. Oh, we got 3 super chats. Let me just give you guys a round of applause for the support that you are giving for this channel right now, this day and age, with the challenges that we have with losing. Right, it's tough sometimes. But again, I'm going to be back in that locker room. Hey, this week the one-on-one interview is supposed to be with Jalen Coker. So if you guys have any questions that you want me to ask Jalen Coker, please let me know. So I can get that ask on you guys' behalf. Man of the people, this is what I do, get you information that you want to know. Then the next week we're going to do Jimmy Horn Jr., and then I'll also get into the locker room, talk to some of the guys. So if you have any specific questions, let me know. But I'll continue to do my thing and put that information out there for you guys. Let's go ahead and look at these stats from today. Again, Bryce Young did not have a terrible game. 15 out of 24. Excuse me. 162 yards with a 6.8 yard average. That's an improvement. Now, that improvement was greatly assisted by some of the big plays that he had, which I'm going to show you the wide receivers here in just a second. But Bryce Young, 15 of 24, not bad. 162 yards, a little low. 1 TD, but here's the important thing. 0 interceptions. 0 interceptions. Whenever that happens, that usually means this team has a really good chance to win. Wasn't able to pull it out today. Those are Bryce Young's stats. Now let's look at the receivers on the other end of that. Jalen Coker, your leading receiver today. 4 catches. He was 4 out of 4. 4 catches, 59 yards with a 14.8 average, 1 TD. Again, you see here, these guys had some good longs today. Jalen Coker with a 32-yarder. Xavier Legette with a 34-yarder. And then Teteroa with a 21. So Bryce was able to get the ball down the field. He moved some things around today. But Jalen Coker, excellent game today. Xavier Legette, 2 catches. Teteroa, 2 catches on 4 targets. 25 yards. That is a little bit of a step back for him. Jimmy Horn Jr. getting involved there as well. But you see, total 162 yards. And now we're going to go to our running backs, Rico and Chuba. How did they do? Well, here you go. Bryce Young was tied for your leading rusher today. And let me give a little slight hat tip to Bryce. He played better, and you can continue to see that he's progressing and using his legs when he needs to. It befuddles me why he has yet to figure out how to slide. Like, his sliding is still like absolutely 100% terrible. But I really like how he uses his legs to keep the play alive. He'll use his legs to keep the play alive to pass the ball, and then he'll use his legs to run it, and he has a really good balance with that. It's just some other things, which we're going to talk about here, need to take place to really help him get the victories that he needs, this team needs. But Rico Dowdle, 16 carries for 49 yards. Rico getting the bulk of the carries today. Chuba with 8 for 29 yards. So we had 127 there total. And then let's go to the defensive side. Defensive side, Nick Scott, your leading tackler, J.C. Horn, Bobby Brown in there. We did get a sack from Christian Roseboom, DJ Wanham, and Bobby Brown. So we got to him today. We got to Shock today. Just didn't get to him enough. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me make sure this is correct. Un momento, por favor. Yeah, the Carolina Panthers managed to have six sacks today. I'm sorry, the Carolina Panthers today managed to have 5 sacks today against the rookie Tyler Shock. 5 sacks. That's pretty good. But again, I'm gonna tell you guys about why things didn't happen the way that we needed them to happen. But those are your defensive stats from today. I was touching on the penalties, which I don't have the graphic for it, but I'm going to read it to you guys. Penalties for the Carolina Panthers today. Carolina Panthers had 11 penalties. 11 penalties for 103 yards. We normally have 5. We have more than twice the number of penalties that we normally have. Saints didn't play great ball either. They had 9. So there's a total of 20 penalties in this game. That's almost like a third of the game you're having penalties. And at some point, it just seemed like you were watching like a tennis match. They'd go for it, they go back. They go for it, they go back because of the penalties in this game. Time of possession didn't get as lopsided as it was seeming to be. Final time of possession ended up being New Orleans Saints 31. The 31 minutes, Carolina Panthers 28 minutes. So that wasn't as bad as it was seeming like it was going to be. But, yeah, let's go ahead and just wrap this up talking about some of the big things. Like, what made this what it was? So the fourth quarter was what it was all about for the New Orleans Saints. They were down by 10. And, no, they weren't down by 10. They were down by 7 to start the fourth quarter. Correction, they were down by 7 to start the fourth quarter. And you had something happen as I'm looking at this stat sheet, which you really have not seen from this Carolina Panthers team this season. They found a way to lose the game. And here's something else. This team is really good at one-score games. Really good at one-score games. Today we lost a one-score game. But where I was going with that box score thing is that finish strong. I might even still have the clip from Coach Dave Canales talking about what has been the key for this team, and that has been finishing strong. I'm pretty sure I could quickly find it. These guys weren't able to finish strong today. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I can quickly find it. Yeah, check this out.
A commitment to fundamentals, finish. We talk about finish. We look for opportunities to preach finish. And, in different ways, as we look at a season, you try to break the season up into quarters as well so that we have something to kind of sink our teeth into and wrap our mind around as much as we have. This is a one-game approach right here. We look for finish opportunities. Every Friday, Focus Friday, is a finish opportunity to wrap up the game plan. Then we have that walkthrough on Saturday. So I just keep trying to look for a finish line, to have a habit of bursting through the finish, doing whatever it takes for as long as it takes.
So that was from earlier in the week. Prior to this game, Coach Dave Canales talking about finish strong, finish Fridays. And that's really what this team has done all season. to be able to win all the one-score games, and to have it flip completely where you guys get blanked. Carolina Panthers get blanked in the fourth quarter. The New Orleans Saints scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. Oh, it's like we found something, a new way to lose. And then even this, Chris Olave, obviously their leading wide receiver, you know. And by the way, the New Orleans Saints running back, Delvin. Oh. All right, where's it at? Yeah, Devin Neal left the game injured. And Chris Olave at that point certainly becomes your leading offensive guy that you want to focus on. He had one catch the entire game, and then that last possession, the next to last to let them tie it up, was Chris Olave getting 4 receptions. He had one prior to that, and then suddenly he just becomes the guy. They give him four catches to score. And, you know, it's always kind of like debatable about how teams go into a prevent and how they back off and just, you know, try to milk the clock. And what Avero's teams normally do is they bend but don't break. So, okay, I'm with you. You let them, don't let anything get behind you, play off the guys a little extra. And that's what they were doing. But then once they cross midfield and they normally, when Avero's teams start to tighten up on defense, you didn't see that happen. Right, and on that J.C. Horn play, which I'm not criticizing J.C. because I think he just, you know, Olave just ended up making a better play. Tyler Shock put the ball exactly where it needed to be, and boom, you had the touchdown. They were playing one-on-one. They were going to blitz him, and he had inside. And, you know, it looked like a great effort by J.C. Horn, and he just didn't make it, and he was able to make the catch. We already talked about the number of penalties. We had a great fumble opportunity, and this is not like right on Christian Roseboom, but, man, dang, was it Jackson that hit the receiver perfectly? Ball goes up in the air. Roseboom comes to get it. Is not able to bring it in. Saints recover, and they still get to go on the ball. Keep running with the ball. And then that last drive, right? It's like they started – literally, it was on this side of the field, almost directly behind me, guys. Almost directly behind me. The New Orleans Saints started at the 8-yard line, and they just went down the field. And, you know, when the Saints go marching, that's one of the things they talked about here. They did. And you saw that trend starting almost right before half and through the rest of the game, where it's like, man, the Saints aren't – they're dominating in a way that's like slow, methodical, long drives. And to me, it started to send out like, hey, even though they're getting a lot of penalties, they're still going. We're still not stopping. So our defense, which usually buckles down, holds us in there, just wasn't able to be the missing piece that we needed today in order to get that victory. I think that's all that I want to go through today. Let me also just tell you guys one other thing from today. These drives. Give me just 1 second, guys. Yeah, nothing new there. I was just taking a look at my notes, make sure there's not anything else that stood out that I want to tell you guys about on this immediate play. But we still have a shot. Let me see if I can go ahead and get through some of these comments before I get out of here. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Let me make sure I certainly give some shouts out to these super chats, because you guys help make it possible for us to do what we do here at Charlotte Vibe. I already covered this one. This is from Ali Bodrick with the Saints and the Flags. And, yep, we already got through this one as well, getting swept by 3 and 2. It's crazy. We sweep the Falcons, which is something we don't do normally. Then we get swept by the New Orleans Saints. Justin liked that 100. Panthers took 2 weeks off, not just one. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go that heavy to say they took 2 weeks off, because this was not a horrible game. The Saints didn't have 300 yards passing. They didn't do 200 yards rushing and all kinds of crazy stuff, right? It was really just we made a lot of mistakes, penalties, interceptions that we didn't get. The pass that I just, had the picture of with Tetaroa that just was just too short, couldn't get to. The penalties, which, again, the ransom hit just stands out because it's one of the last ones that really broke the camel's back, as you say. But it was tough. It was tough, but they'll be back at it next week in Charlotte to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, all right, let's see if we can look at a few questions here. I'm going to have to throw my glasses, guys, so that I can read the screen here. So let me throw on the glasses. If you haven't hit that like button yet, please hit it. Support us and what we do, being out here on this field. I know it's late back home, almost 9 o'clock, but we're going to do what we do, which is talk about this Carolina. Oh, man, now I can see so much better. I can see clearly. All right, I like being able to see clearly. Oh, okay, this is for the pregame. This is why I said that this is a must-win. I get it. Certainly today would have made things easier, but I got to clean these off a little bit. Today would have made things easier, but as Derek Brown says, this team doesn't take the easy route. They don't believe in the easy. They believe in being the cardiac cats through thick and thin. So that's what they're going to be, are the cardiac cats. So no easy route. They want you to come to the game next week and support. Need you loud. I'm sure you're going to hear Dave Canales open up his press conference this week saying, we need everybody out here at Bank of America Stadium this Sunday as we take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But, yeah, a win today would have been great, That would have been awesome. Would have made a much better flight. The NFL wants a big finale. They're going to get one if that's the case. A lot of people did not the 4th and inches call. Panthers boy, appreciate you tuning in. Not to say that we're without stupid mistakes, but the rest were doing the most. Definitely got the feeling the rest were helping the Saints. I didn't get that too much. I feel like we did a lot. Hey, Chris, how's it been? Sorry, I'm on another account. My other account got banned. Vinny, appreciate you doing what you can to come back on here and join us. Appreciate it very much. Stephanie, proud of Coker. Again, I'm supposed to – it's not 100% confirmed, guys, but I feel pretty confident I'm going to mention it to you. Interview Jalen Coker this week. So please look out for that interview. And if you have any questions that you want me to ask Jalen, put it in the comments, and I will do my best to get it to him and include it in the show. How about that? Those guys are turning off the lights on us here. It's all right. We still got our own power, so we're going to keep going. I'm embarrassed to be a Panther. Let me turn down my light here because things got so bright with them getting things turned off here. We'll turn it down like that as we got to adjust the lighting here. That's what your boy do. He will continue to broadcast even when they turn off the lights. Don't be embarrassed to be a Panther fan. We appreciate you. We need you. And for life. I want us to lose the rest of the games and go 0-17. Do we need an intervention? If we need an intervention, just let me know, because we do not want. Yes, this is 24-hour rule. Okay, let's just go ahead and put that into effect right now for all the people that are feeling like the world has ended. 24-hour rule. Whether we win or whether we lose, soak in those emotions for 24 hours. Come Tuesday, wipe the slate clean, and let's cheer on these Carolina Panthers. And for life, we got to bring you back to good. We'll get through a few more of these. Hey, Chris, man of the people, what Carolina team is going to show on game day? If favorite to win, team loses. Is keeping composure and staying disciplined a priority? Disappointing. We're going to win next week. I mean, that's what we've been doing every other game. I've broken it down for you guys. Every other game is what happens with these Carolina Panthers, unfortunately. But it bodes well if you want them to make the playoffs, because every other game would mean that we win against Tampa, we lose against Seattle, we win against Tampa, we're in the playoffs. Look for it. Rory thinks we could beat Tampa twice. Yeah. All right, let's try to get through just a few more before we go ahead and get on out of here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, supporting. We got 3 super chats. If you guys want to send out one more before you go, you can do that. I won't be mad at you. Ooh, 37 out of 46 started games by Bryce Young. He has thrown for less than 200 yards. Yeah, he's an up and down guy. He's an up and down guy, 100%. And I've been saying it. So continue to watch. You know, you guys can form your own opinions. But I do what I think is a really good job of giving you guys the facts. And I'll give you my opinion when you want it, but I'll give you the facts, and then you can decide what you want to do with it. And I said that he is an up and down guy. Oh man, we got some people saying the year's over. All right, so I'm going to end on this note here. I'm going to end with a little therapy for everybody out there, right? Okay, be unhappy, be pissed off, be angry, be mad. This was not a good game today. This was almost a spoiler, if you will, for what happened today with them losing like they did. But here's the thing. The Carolina Panthers have been playing like this the entire year. The Carolina Panthers win a game, they lose a game. They beat teams that you think they have no chance to beat. They lose against teams which you're like, what in the world? That is what's been going on. But this is what this Dave Canales team does. They rebound. It's still a young team. Look how many rookies are on this team that are making them. The guy that you're the most upset about, potentially the most upset about right now, he is a rookie. Been playing really good. We got a lot of rookies that are doing a lot of good things. Dave Canales, he's only in his second year. He's still learning. He's still making mistakes, but he's still learning from it. So be upset. I'm not saying you shouldn't be. This was bad, but be confident that this organization is the same team that we were all excited about with a chance, that have been doing the right things, that have beat LA and all these other games. And wait for the consistency to happen next year, in year 3 of Dave Canales. And just enjoy this ride this season for what it can be. But I'll continue to break it down about what happened and why it happened, all right? So I want to thank you guys very, very much. They've turned the music up extremely loud, like it's a concert behind me. I know you guys can still hear me. But thank you guys for the support. My birthday was yesterday, turned 50 years old. You guys made it a great time for me. Unfortunately, we did not get the win here to complete the icing on the cake, the cherry on top for my birthday. But it was great. We'll continue to cover this team. I'm Chris Jenkins, live from the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. We'll be returning back to Charlotte as the Carolina Panthers will take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next Sunday at Bank of America Stadium. Thanks, guys.